This is Game Fanatics. We're here at the Telltale booth at PAX 2013. We've got Pierre Shorette here. Why don't you tell us about a little bit what you do?
I am the lead writer on episode 1 of The Wolf Among Us, and I write the video games we make.
Awesome. And well, I mean, I know that all the fans of the series, what you guys have done so far with The Walking Dead, I mean, the narrative and the story is really what drives these experiences. So, what so far has been the most enjoyable part of working on the Wolf Among Us?
Well, when you think about someone like Lee, because I think a lot of the people that play our game are definitely going to be Walking Dead fans. Lee is a character that things happen to. You know, right. He is a guy that's just tumbling down the hill and trying to grab hold of whatever he can to slow himself down. Bigby is the sheriff of Fabletown. He is the big bad wolf. He walks into a room and people know who he is before he even got there. So because of that, you're a character that actually dictates more. You actually walk into a room and you can handle a situation. So it's more about how do I handle this situation and less about if I can handle this situation. And maybe you're going to be the guy that kicks a door in and demands answers, but that sort of classic responsibility with power question is, I think, what's unique to our series and unique to Bigby as a character, because you definitely can get the answers by threatening someone, but maybe there are ramifications to that later on the line.
Very cool. So, when it comes to something like writing thematic direction for the piece as a whole versus writing individual characters, like how much does your work play into each of those roles, I guess?
It's definitely, we map that stuff out beforehand to sort of get major themes that are going to run through multiple episodes, and then for me, the sort of rubber meets the road when it comes down to how a scene feels and the overall arc of each scene, because I think it's important for each scene to feel like it's going somewhere, and people feel more safe in the hands of creators that have a plan, I believe, so we definitely lay out the tracks of where we're going to go thematically, so that if we ever get hung up on where we're going, we have something to fall back on as our foundation.
Awesome. And yeah, so I just played the demo in there, and I really liked it. It was great.
Awesome.
Right off the bat, I actually really liked Bigby. When I went through the Walking Dead Telltale game, I was kind of hit or miss on Lee. I was like, I don't know if I like him or not. He was maybe a little passive. Bigby was very like get stuff done, and we met Mr. Toad,
yep,
and the Huntsman.
Yeah.
And so actually,
the Woodsman.
Sorry. Right, Huntsman, Snow White or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Woodsman. Obviously some history there with the werewolf and Bigby.
Yeah,
and the Woodsman.
And Little Red Riding Hood and the Woodsman came and saved her from the big bad wolf. So they've got history that goes back hundreds, thousands, forevers worth of years.
Right. So actually, when playing the game, I really liked Toad's character.
Awesome.
You know, I thought that his kind of position and his relationship and how he played into the whole scenario, like we said, the Woodsman and Bigby obviously have that history, but yeah, Mr. Toad, you might think like he's kind of there, and it was interesting to see how he played into it. Do you, and I know you can't maybe not reveal all the characters, but do you have someone that you like more than the others? Like, do you have a favorite?
I mean, honestly, it has to be Bigby at this point, yeah, because you get the great thing about Telltale is that when you have a character that you get to express in so many different directions, you get to take them in all the ways that you would have if you had the opportunity to. And I think that something like, it's like when you go home after a night out with friends or something, and there was that point where you could have said that hilarious thing or that meaningful, poignant thing, but you forgot, and now you're thinking about it in the shower the next morning. We're allowed to express that because now I can go back and I can put that in on one of the paths, and that's so gratifying. Like, to feel like, man, I got the opportunity to live out all these different variations of a moment, and I think that it's really hard to compare that to any other character because they are so set comparatively.
Yeah, and I mean, this kind of ties into that, and this question's going to be a little vague, but I was like, as a writer, how awesome must it be to work on a project that's so narratively driven?
I feel super fortunate to be working for a company that takes stories so seriously. And honestly, it's a thing that I've always loved in games. I'm a narrative junkie. I am not a person that skips cutscenes. I am the type of person that will grind through a level for the cutscene, for the story. And oftentimes, and I'm not naming names, the story is the carrot that is a little rotten, and I'm not totally sure why I'm going after it. And I think that it's awesome that we're in a time in games where I think the industry at large is starting to take stories seriously as not just an afterthought or things to fill in between gameplay. It's something that can actually make the game go from something that is a systems-driven great experience to something that's very memorable. Special.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, hey, thanks again for talking with us. The game looks great. I know we're all super excited, and I know our viewers are excited. So, again, this is Pierre. He's the lead writer
On episode 1 of Fables, yeah?
Yeah. So awesome. This is the guy to thank for the awesome experiences you guys are going to have. One of the guys.
One of the many guys.
The game is beautiful too, so whoever drew it.
Dave Bogut, Kim Lyons, art direction.
The whole thing's great.
Amazing.
Yeah, the whole thing's great. Thank you guys again. The Game Fanatics PAX 2013 Telltale booth.